I'm doing great, man. What's happening?
Doing all right.
Little sad.
LSU
Football's over.
recruit. Yep, football's over, man. National Signing Day over here in college football. LSU strikes on all of the top prospects in the state except for the number one defensive tackle out of A-Meet. You were in that similar position. What do you make of LSU bagging up another top 5 class, but maybe missing on an area of need going into next year?
Well, you're never going to be perfect, and I think they put forth their best effort. Sauceberg decided he wanted to go to Alabama, and I know that's a sore subject in the state of Louisiana, but I think I'm not going to talk about the one they missed. I'm going to talk about the guy that they got, and I think when you look at the class that they got, it was pretty good. They wanted to address the offensive and defensive line, and I feel like they did that. And to keep, John Emery in state, to keep some of the DBs that they got, to me, was it perfect? No, but I tell you what, I feel pretty good about the class that they got.
Yeah, they got a legendary DB class. But let's talk about the Super Bowl, man. Football's over. You're someone who you're always kind of waving this defensive flag, right? So I'll ask you, was the Super Bowl boring?
No, it wasn't. It was a X and O tactical clinic put on by Wade Phillips and Bill Belichick and Brian Flores. And to me, that's the thing that I'm going to take away from the Super Bowl. Everybody wants offense, but there wasn't much in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't much in that game.
So what about the how, right? I've seen some great threads on like Twitter from some analytics guys, whatever. But in your opinion, what did you see? How was Bill Belichick able to stifle a Rams attack that was supposed to be one of the most diverse and one of the most potent in the entire NFL?
Well, and T-Bob, you know this. The Rams are a zone scheme, which means their offensive line goes sideways a lot. And so what Bill did is he said, basically, we're not going to go sideways. We're going to go vertical, and we're going to allow our linebackers, namely Dante Hightower, to kind of read and get downhill. And so therefore, he took away the running game. And they said, you know what? Once the running game is taken away, Jared Goff can't beat us. And true to form, Jared Goff couldn't beat them. And he also exploited Sean McVay a little bit because McVay loves the big play. He's not patient. And there was a critical 3rd and 1 where McVay tried to get a home run, and Belichick knew it was coming, and he got a sack by Kyle Van Noy. Little things like that let me know that Sean McVay just wasn't ready for the big stage, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's certainly what it felt like. And he was going up against the old wise master, Belichick, the oldest Super Bowl winning coach ever at 66. This is a very sports talky type question, Boog, but in your opinion, is this Belichick's most impressive Super Bowl just in terms of him? Like some of you talk about Brady on the other side of it. I feel like he's been the big talking point on the other side of this one.
I'm not going to say it was his best, but what I will say is this game, most of the time in football, T-Bob, it comes down to players and not plays.
Yeah.
This game came down to plays. X and O was being called. And I think you got to give Brian Flores, who's now the coach of the Dolphins, and you got to give Bill Belichick a lot of credit because the Rams pretty much had them dead to right until a couple of X and O plays from Josh McDaniels and a couple of XO plays from Belichick. So in the end, I think the Rams were the more talented team, but it's a classic case of being out-coached by a guy who's probably the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah, and what I've been fascinated to read about is just after this game, when you read about how the Patriots do things defensively, they describe having like a core tenet of principles, but I guess not necessarily like a set system. Like they're willing to be very malleable week to week, depending on what they think they would exploit. You had Whitworth talking about how they basically played this like 6-2, almost goal line-esque packages, played a lot more zone, even though they were the number one man team in the NFL during the regular season. How common is it for NFL defenses to be able to do that kind of wholesale adjustment like you witnessed on Sunday?
Well, first of all, I'm going to give you kudos because you used the word malleable. I don't think you used it correctly, but it was close enough.
Thank you.
Number one. Number two, isn't that the job of a good coach, man? Like to take what you have and figure out the best way to win. And you got to be a chameleon. You got to be able to adjust. And so is it common? No, it's not really common, but I feel like the best coaches should be able to do that.
Yeah.
And Belichick does it better than anybody else. So, yeah, it's not common, but, man, to watch it happen, to watch Josh McDaniels come to the sideline and say, hey, guys, we're scrapping the entire game plan, and we're going to go with our big personnel, 2 tight ends and a fullback, and see if they can see if they can handle that. To me, that just shows you what coaching genius is all about.
And so how much of that is on the players? Like if you're a Patriots defender and all of a sudden you're kind of running a completely different defense than you have all year, does that mean that you're putting, when you're scouting these guys, are you putting a further emphasis on, okay, who mentally can know what to do even over physically?
Well, yeah, and that's what coaching is about. You got 2 weeks to figure it out. You know what your players can handle. And, Bill Belichick made a statement one time, and I think a lot of people should listen. I'll take a guy that's going to do it the right way and do it 50 out of 50 times the way I want it, less talented, than I will take a guy who's more talented that'll do it 47 out of 50 times.
Yep.
Because those 3 times will cost you. Look at D. Ford. D. Ford lined up offsides. He doesn't line up offsides against the Chiefs during the Super Bowl.
That's
but
crazy.
Because he couldn't do it the right way, they're not. And so Belichick wants smart players that can morph and transition into any type of defense that he wants.
Are they the favorite because of that next year?
Nobody's going to talk about them being a favorite. Everybody's going to mention Kansas City, the Rams, the Saints. Nobody's going to mention them because you know why? Because we don't like boring football. Yeah. Nobody likes teams that do the things, the little things the right way. So they're not going to be the favorite, but I tell you what, bet against them and you'll lose a lot of money.
For sure. Absolutely. 10 out of 10 times. Can the Saints bounce back? The way that they're constructed, the way that their season ended, can they make another run at this thing?
As long as Drew Brees is back, and as far as I know, he's back, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's coming back. Just got to stay healthy.
It's really simple, and the answer is yes. As long as Drew Brees and Sean Payton are together, you got those 2 running backs, Michael Thomas. They need another receiver to step up. I like Raekwon, but they need somebody else. And defensively, make sure Marcus Lattimore doesn't need a lot of Popeyes this offseason. I think they'll be fine.
What did you think of that, Boog, the way that game, the NFC Championship game ended?
It was a bad call. I think everybody knew it was a bad call, but nothing you can do about it. I think if you go back through the game, there are several plays that the Saints could have made to change the outcome. I know people in South Louisiana don't want to hear that, but that's just kind of part of the game. Bad calls are always going to be part of the game. It has been, and it always will be, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Is LeBron going to ruin the Lakers?
No, but I do think Anthony Davis won't be on the Pelicans pretty soon. May not be today, but by this summer he'll be gone.
Will he be a Laker?
Yeah, he's gone.
Will he be a Laker?
No.
At some point he will. It may take a while, but he'll get there.
He'll be a Celtic here soon enough. Boog, what are you going to do with the offseason, man?
If you could FaceTime me right now, you see it. I'm currently in the fairway about 175 out. So.
Boog's happy place.
You going to play in this Pro-Am that we're on your back for? I hate to bring the business to radio, but we're just looking for an answer.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna give you an answer. I'm on the grind right now, and I'll let you know really soon.
Ooh, that sounds
like more of a stall.
That sounds like a no.
Yeah. All right, man. Central Plumbing Company bringing you this conversation every week. We always appreciate their partnership, your knowledge. Hit them straight, put them short. Talk to you. We'll talk to you soon, man. Not next week, but thank you for this. Thank you for the season.
Anytime, man. Always enjoy it, man. And I did pick up on you put them short. You're not supposed to put them short.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that. I was wondering that as well.
Later,
Boog. Take it easy, man.
All right,
Until
we'll be back
next year.
we'll close this thing out next.